Hello, hello. I'm Marcy Schoenborn of ShowFit, and I'm so glad that you're here today. And if you're here today, it tells me you care about your health. And I'm really excited to unpack the whole 10,000 steps story. Why do we think we have to get in 10,000 steps? Is it the truth? What are the benefits of power walking less steps versus 10,000 slow steps? What is the difference in 10,000 steps throughout your day versus a 20-minute step workout? I'm going to unpack all that here today so you know the truth, so you can get the best benefits from your walking movement. And I hope you're walking because it is one of the best underrated workouts. And watch this. If it speaks to you, subscribe, share with your friends, and even join my school. It is currently free. And that's where you're going to get more talks like this. And in those talks, you can join in live and ask questions. So you can get even more information if you're in my school. So without further ado, let's listen to me. Let's see, there we go. So I wanted to talk about the whole 10,000 step theory. And I've kind of broached this before in the main program. I think it is a broken philosophy. And what brought it to the forefront of a teaching right now is I talk to many people that tell me in their interview, I get 10,000 steps a day. I don't know why I'm fit. Well, if your 10,000 steps are throughout the day, that's entirely different to 2,500 steps in 20 minutes on a treadmill at a faster pace. And not even a running pace, but just you can power walk those, 2,500 steps. Whereas throughout the day, 10 steps here, 100 steps here, 200 steps there, doesn't get your heart rate up, doesn't do what you think it's doing. So this whole myth of 10,000 steps is confusing on many, many levels. But here's what the research says about the difference between simply aiming for a high daily step count, like the popular 10,000 steps, and intentionally walking briskly for a focused 20 to 40-minute session at, say, 3 miles per hour pace. And let me also break that down. If the fastest you can walk is 2 miles per hour, 1.5 miles per hour, that is fast for you. So don't think I can't walk because I can't walk 3 miles per hour. Do the best you can do. And then that's how you improve. 6 years ago when I got back to the gym, I didn't walk as fast and I had to rehab an arthritic knee. And today I can run and do squats and do all these things. They didn't happen overnight. So don't ignore the baby steps. They add up. So the findings suggest that both approaches offer benefits, but brisk, purposeful walking often delivers equal or greater returns in less time. And so health benefits, quantity versus intensity. So many benefits begin with even modest step increases. Every additional 2,000 steps a day lowers the risk of premature death by about 8 to 11%, up to around 10,000 steps. So approximately 9,800 to 10,000 steps a day is linked to a 50% reduced dementia risk, plus lower risks of cardiovascular disease, cancer, and mortality. And don't belittle your 10,000 steps throughout the day either. That's not what I'm saying. But because you're keeping your body in motion. And as the old saying goes, a body in motion stays in motion. And I remember hearing that when I was younger and going, well, duh, but now I get it. Keep using your body and you can keep using your body. So benefits can begin at fairly low levels. For example, 3,800 steps a day were associated with a 25% lower dementia risk. For older adults, 60 plus, 6,000 to 8,000 steps a day seems enough to reap substantial mortality reduction benefits. For those under 60, the sweet spot is 8,000 to 10,000 steps a day. And so, and how many steps do I get a day? I have to put in an effort to get in 5,000. This whole time I've gotten healthy and fit. On a day I'm not doing cardio, about 1,200 steps. On a day I'm doing cardio, 2,500 to 5,000 steps. And so I really even question these numbers But lately, for the last several months, I've been doing 2-a-day workouts and not insane workouts. But what does that mean? That means I was for many years, I would do weights every other day and walk on the treadmill or some form of cardio every other day. I've been doing both every day. And so it's still not even almost an hour of workouts most days. Or if I just feel like I need to walk for an hour, sometimes I do. It's not that often though. And then that's when I would get in way more steps. So brisk or interval walking. So an example, 30 to 40 minutes at 3 miles per hour. So, but again, remember, if 2 miles per hour is fast for you, okay, that's awesome. So a 30-minute routine at higher intensity can burn as many calories as a 1.5-hour walk. So if you don't have a lot of time, walk fast for 30 minutes. Brisk walking, 3 to 4 miles per hour, is moderate intensity and improves cardiovascular health, lowers blood pressure, reduces cholesterol. Just 15 minutes a day can reduce early death risk by 20%. So if all you've got is 15 minutes to power walk, by all means, do it. So power walking 4 to 5 miles per hour is even more effective. And I don't know about you, but when I can power walk at 4, I go over 4 and I'm in a jog. I get to 5 and I kind of run at a 5.2. My husband does always say that I'm slow, but I run at a 5.2. So power walking 4 to 5 is really fast. So again, if power walking at 2 to 3 is where you power walk, perfect. But it is even more effective. So here's an estimate: 160-pound person burns 181 calories in 30 minutes versus 119 calories at a brisk walk. So 62 more calories. And, you know, we don't count calories in the program, but one of the beautiful things about eating with us at Focus on Health is we don't count the calorie. We get to eat the good foods that heal the body, and all of them we want. So if we do want to burn more calories, say we plateau, up the exercise a little. So you're seeing right here, 30 minutes walking faster can burn 60 more calories based on what you weigh. We're all going to burn more different amount of calories based on what we weigh. And if you've seen me recently posting about walking with my 20-pound weight vest on, I don't come out of the gate starting with 20 pounds. I trained up to that, but come out of the gate with a 3-pound or a 6-pound or a 12-pound. I wouldn't even say start with 12, but a 3 or 6-pound weighted vest. That's going to help you burn more calories and help you build your core at the same time. And sorry, I'm sweating. It is humid in my house. And my husband just walked out and I don't know how to turn up the air conditioning. I'm a little pampered here. He does everything. Anyway, so interval walking. So like the Japanese model, and when I say the Japanese model, I'm going to explain that. 3 minutes fast, 3 minutes slow, repeated for 30 minutes, shows superior improvements in cardiovascular metrics, blood pressure, metabolic function, and endurance compared to steady pacing. So interval training is always going to improve cardiovascular metrics and really good so I talk about blood pressure, cardiovascular, metabolic function, endurance, also really good for the brain because the whole cardiovascular metric aids in our brain health as we age. So experts note that walking faster often gives more benefit than just walking longer, and combining both styles can yield the best results. So if you're somebody that's already walking an hour, if you want to keep walking an hour because you love it and you're consistent with it, and I'll unpack being consistent with it, but if you want to keep doing that, try to do a little more interval. You know, walk faster for 3 minutes and then your normal pace for 3 minutes, or whatever you can do. If you can only walk faster for 1 minute, work up to it. And why do I say if you can be consistent? If you are someone that has used walking to burn the calories to be able to eat more, if you get in a situation where you can't walk, inclement weather, your treadmill breaks, your leg hurts, whatever reason, and your body has adapted to utilizing that movement to burn your calories, if you don't lower your calories appropriately, you're going to start gaining weight. So that's why I like to use food for the weight loss and fitness for health. So we're using both for health, but fitness, fitness is the icing on a healthy cake. Okay. So short bursts of vigorous activity. So even as little as 10 minutes can improve VO2 max and cardiovascular metabolic health more than longer, slow walking sessions. And I'll do a talk. I'm going to make a note here, do a talk on VO2 max so you understand that. I did a talk on that in our main program, but I think it would be good to do one here. So VO2 max at my age, 22, is healthy. Mine's 47. And I don't work out as hard as a lot of people think. I work out consistently. 47 VO2 max is insane for my age. And it's also a lot of the reason that I show up biologically as age 40 and metabolically at age 56 when I'm turning 61. So, and how do we work on our VO2 max? I will teach on that, but be consistent in cardiovascular exercise. Okay. So health guidelines recommend at least 150 minutes a week of moderate aerobic activity like brisk walking plus strength training. Something steps alone may not guarantee. Highly, highly suggest strength training. Muscle is metabolic. I'll teach on that as well. Let me make some notes here. Muscle and metabolism. So what that means is the more muscular you are, the faster your metabolism can be. But I will teach on how to do that properly, appropriately, and ease into it. So adherence and motivation. So a study with low active overweight women found that having a $10,000 step goal plus real-time feedback significantly increased physical activity more than a blind 30 minutes of walking goal. The step goal group increased by 4,600 steps a day, 43%, while the 30-minute group increased 2,800 steps a day. And so real-time feedback would be like a smartwatch. I use my Fitbit. My husband insists, oh, you need an Apple Watch. And I don't use 2% of what this thing does. I don't need an Apple Watch. So if you're thinking something's out of your budget, get what suits you. I have a 10-year-old Fitbit. So the real-time quantitative feedback, so via a visible pedometer, likely boosts motivation and habit building. And so why does that even happen? You know what? I get up in the morning and one of the first things I do is, an hour into my morning, not the very first thing, I'm not that fanatical, but I look at my sleep quality. I know my sleep quality, but I want to see it. And then I want to see if my Fitbit is accurate. Is it saying I was awake the times that I felt like I was laying there awake? Sometimes I'm like in and out of that light sleep. And so I think I'm cat hair. So I think I'm awake. But I also look at my steps, or you can set reminders that you're almost to your goal. Like my goal daily is only 5,000 steps. And so if I see it's almost bedtime and there's 4,600 steps, lately I've been working to hit 5,000. Now there are days like when my husband and I have our date day, I might hit 7,000 because we go to town and we'll walk around deliberately. We actually, Cheyenne is small. There's so many shops. I don't like to make that day about spending money. I like to make that day about spending time with my husband. We just walk around town. So that's a step day, kind of. It's just, we're talking, we're getting in steps. It's just a health and bonding day for us, So, but which is better can depend on your goals. So your goal is, say if your goal is mortality and dementia risk and fighting cardiovascular disease, so excellent if achieving 8,000 to 10,000 steps a day. And you can break those up. You can break those up into 2,000 step bites. I highly suggest 2,500 step power walks. So what happens when you power walk is your metabolism stays faster when you're done walking for a bit of time. Do it again. Metabolism stays faster. Do it again. Metabolism stays faster. So if you get up in the morning and do a 20-minute power walk and then whatever your schedule is, a few hours later on your lunch break, 20-minute power walk. When you get home from work, or, 20-minute power walk, however you can fit it in, but you have to be intentional to fit it in. So I'm a schedule fanatic, and that's how I accomplish everything I accomplish. Everything. It's on a schedule. So excellent. And so this is excellent even with fewer steps if pace is brisk. So you can get less than 8 to 10,000 steps at a brisk pace and still work on your mortality, cardiovascular disease, and dementia risk. So if your goal is weight and metabolic health, so 10,000 steps or step focus is helpful, but may require higher total steps. And again, I suggest focusing on the food, not the steps. Something happens, you can't step, and you haven't been eating right, all that weight's coming back. You worked hard for that. Do it the right way. So more calorie burn per minute and better metabolic impact so brisk. That would be brisk interval walking, 20 to 40 minutes. That would have more of a calorie burn per minute and better metabolic impact. So if your goal is time efficiency, so lower, longer duration. And so 10,000 steps, you can't get those 10,000 steps in always if time efficiency is your issue. But like I already said, 20 minutes here, 20 minutes here, 20 here. What if you got 10? Go get in 1,000 steps. I have done that before because I've stood in my kitchen thinking I only have 15 minutes, knowing I got to walk downstairs, plug in my treadmill. It's got to boot up the whole system. So I'm going to get 10 minutes out of a 10-minute walk out of a 15-minute interval. But instead of dallying in my kitchen, I went down and got 10 minutes in. So even I do 10-minute workouts. I'll do 10-minute weight workouts standing here between appointments when I've got a busy day with client check-ins. You make it work when you want to see results. And so time efficiency, high intense sessions deliver gains quickly. If your goal is ease of adoption, and so it may be easier to integrate throughout the day, that's what I've been talking about. And this requires carving out dedicated workout time, but you create the habit. Maybe you're brewing your coffee. If you don't have a treadmill and you don't want to, it's seasonal, you can't go outside, do 10 minutes of, knee ups and, moving your arms and your knee is meeting your elbow, march in place, dance. Make a favorite music mix. I have many Marcy mixes on my iTunes, and depending on my mood, it's what I'll play. So create your own mix, put on your music while you're brewing your coffee, while you're doing something that doesn't require your attention the whole time. Move your body. Motivation and bounded goals. So these are stronger with feedback tools. So like a pedometer or some kind of tracker. And you may need scheduled discipline, but it's energizing. And we know that it's so often we're motivated after we achieve a goal. So the motivation does not come first. That's a big misconception. Can you listen to Tony Robbins, get motivated? Grant Cardone, get motivated, whatever, whoever your guru is, listen to them and get motivated. Absolutely. But that wanes. Okay, so the discipline is the key. And when you are disciplined, man, do you feel motivated and good about yourself on a day you didn't feel like it. I have those days. I have days 6.5 years in with no missed workouts. I have not missed a single day of exercise in 6.5 years. I have days I don't want to do it. I don't want to miss my day. I'm a counter. I don't want to miss my day. I also know that at my age, it doesn't behoove me to miss a day. I don't necessarily know that our body needs a rest. There's, maybe on your day off, walk slowly. So, and that's kind of other philosophies. So joint friendliness, if that's your goal. very gentle, more sustainable for people with issues. Walking is so underrated. Walking is so good for us. And I get it. I have friends that can't walk. They struggle to walk across their room. They get out of bed and it takes everything they have to go in the bathroom and use the bathroom for the morning. And then it takes everything they have to come out into their kitchen. I know this happens. I have spent 22 years with a mother that couldn't walk. So I know what's going to happen if you don't use your body. So even if right now all you can do is walk from your bed to your bathroom, take a break, bathroom to your kitchen, take a break, keep doing it. Instead of bathroom to the kitchen, getting your coffee ready and then sitting on the couch for hours, get up every hour and circle around your kitchen. It will add up. It will build up. I promise you. My favorite people to work with are people that can't do it because I love to encourage them that they can do it. They are the warriors. Me walking into a gym every day, I'm not a warrior. I can do it. If you are struggling, and you show up, you are a warrior. Take that win. And so you can still do gentle, brisk, you can work into gentle, brisk walking. But don't be disappointed if it takes a while to get there. But you're going to get there faster than you think. You're not going to get there at all if you don't do it. Time's going to go by regardless. So if your goal is flexibility and variation, and so 10,000 steps, so you might look at lower steps, just step count data. And you might do high intervals, you might do terrain, you might do bursts of different types of walking, and then varied routines. And some people do better with varied routines. If you get bored easy, varied routines. So dance on Monday, power walk on Tuesday, break it up, but do something. So the bottom line and balance recommendation, achieving 8,000 to 10,000 steps a day can significantly lower the risks of early mortality, dementia, heart disease, and cancer. But walking briskly for 20 to 40 minutes, especially with intervals, can deliver similar or superior health benefits in far less time, especially for calorie burn, cardiovascular fitness, and metabolism. The most effective approach may be to use both strategies together. Use step tracking as a motivational tool and baseline measure. Include at least one dedicated brisk or interval walk session, 20 to 40 minutes most days of the week. And again, if you can only do 5 or 10 minutes, okay. And this hybrid model combines accountability and efficiency, helping you reap the benefits of both quantity, daily movement, and intensity targeted effort. And so some recommendations and tips to try. Track step count daily. Invest or use your smartphone. And actually my phone, if I'm carrying my phone, it will track my steps. And I have a funny story about that. When I first started tracking steps before I got my Fitbit, if you know me for a minute, I have an addictive personality. So when I get on a kick, I'm like, I'm on this kick. And so I am counting steps all day. And I just wanted to get in so many steps. So I made my breakfast and I stood in my kitchen marching, eating my breakfast, only to turn around to find my iPhone that was tracking my steps on the counter. So it did not track those steps. So that's a reminder to me to not be obsessed. So don't need to march while you're eating. So, incorporate a brisk interval walking session, 20 to 40 minutes on most days. Start with a 5-minute warm-up, alternate 3 minutes brisk walk, 3 minutes moderate pace, or even 1 minute, 3 minutes, whatever works for you. Finish with a 5-minute cool down and stretches. And I talk about stretching, but I'm not even that flexible. So even if you're not really flexible, do stretch the body. I don't stretch to be flexible. I stretch to keep the body mobile, to keep the shoulders wide range, things like that. So use the talk test. If you're more than able to hold a conversation, increase the pace slightly. Set reminders to move every 30 minutes or every hour. Every bit helps, even outside formal walks. Gradually build intense consistency. Then consider adding strength training 2 or more times a week to meet broader fitness recommendations. And I want to unpack one of the most interesting parts of the 10,000 steps story. So there's never actually been research that 10,000 steps is a model, that it is a go-to model. The 10,000 step target was never based on scientific proof. It actually began as a marketing slogan in Japan in the 1960s. In 1965, a Japanese company launched one of the first commercial pedometers. The device was called Manpoki. I may not be saying it right. Manpoki. I'm not sure, which literally means 10,000 steps meter. The number wasn't chosen based on medical studies. It was picked because the Japanese character for 10,000 looks a bit like a person walking, and it was a catchy, motivating figure. Over time, the 10,000 steps idea spread globally and stuck as a simple public health goal because it's easy to remember, sounds impressive, and motivates people to move more. So what research shows now? The actual health benefits don't require 10,000 steps. Modern studies show strong benefits starting as low as 6,000 to 8,000 steps per day for most adults, especially older adults. For younger adults, 8,000 to 10,000 steps may bring additional benefits, but there's no sharp cutoff at 10,000. Intensity matters. Brisk walking intervals or shorter bouts of vigorous activity will give more benefit than slow spread out steps. So 10,000 steps is not a magic number, but it turned out to be a useful motivational guideline that encouraged people worldwide to be more active. So I found that really, really interesting about the 10,000 steps. And why did I find it so interesting? Because I rarely get in 10,000 steps. So I wanted to know, am I missing something? Because I want to implement everything healthy I can. So any questions? Any let's see, did this give you information you didn't have? Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you always. Again, subscribe, share, like. It really helps me get the word out about the truth about health. That's what I'm all about, is teaching the real data. There's a lot of information out there, and a lot of it's missing important information. So you're getting half-truths, you're getting untruths, and I don't even think that most of the people realize they're doing it. I think they're not doing their homework. And I do a lot of real research, meaning I don't spend all day watching other YouTubers. I do real research with data. And so you can even look below this video and get some of the data, the citations, and take it further if you are a geek like me. And thank you for being here. Love you. And join my free school so you can get more information like this when I'm doing it live, and you can ask questions. Have an amazingly blessed day. Take care.